Republican officials are once again sounding the alarm bells about an issue involving Donald Trump, and this time it has to do with the money that Donald Trump is raising. Now, they're not worried that he's raising a ton of money because he wants to run for president. They're worried because Donald Trump is out raising all of the major Republican fundraising operations, in some cases by 2-to-1 or 3-to-1. And what they're worried about is that this money, which Trump is sitting on over $100 million right now, he's raising $1 to $2 million per week. And those are numbers the rest of the Republican Party simply can't get to. The National Republican Congressional Committee, their top fundraising arm, only has $65 million in the bank. And the reason this is important is because in less than a year now, we have very contentious midterm elections coming up. Republicans need to regain control of the House and the Senate in order to, show that they're not completely politically irrelevant anymore. And they're not going to be able to do that if they can't raise the money, and that's what these conservatives are worried about now. One of them even accused Trump of running a slush fund to line his own pockets. And that's actually a fairly apt comparison, considering that Donald Trump is spending a lot of this money at his own properties. Well, and that's mostly because nobody else is spending money at Trump properties, so he's got to do something, right, to keep his business afloat. But every dollar that goes to Trump's political action committee or to Trump's campaign or whatever it's set up as is a dollar that doesn't go to a Republican candidate. The $1 to $2 million Trump is raising every week is $1 to $2 million that the National Republican Congressional Committee doesn't get their hands on. And without this money, and with so many Republicans having to defend their seats, you're going to have some open seats both in the House and the Senate, they need every dollar they can get. And they're fairly convinced at this point that Trump is not going to spend any of his PAC money helping anyone else in the Republican Party, except, of course, maybe for the primary challengers that he has already endorsed, because those individuals, as we've seen now, are having trouble raising money because nobody wants to be associated with Donald Trump. So the Republican Party's in a lot of trouble. And they deserve it. And that's the best part of this entire story. You did this to yourselves, and I'm going to keep saying that every time I have to talk about things like this. You made the decision to embrace Donald Trump. You could have shut him off, shut him out after he left office. You chose not to do that. Instead, you continued to bow down to him even though he had no power. I mean, hell, the guy couldn't even get on Twitter and make fun of you anymore. But you bowed down to him, you pretended he had power, and that pretend power became real fundraising power. And he's going to raise as much money as he possibly can, and right now it's not showing any signs of slowing down. Meanwhile, the Republican Party that desperately needs that cash is going to be starved of it, and hopefully it'll cost them big time in next year's midterms. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to like, comment, share, and most importantly, subscribe to our channel for fresh content 7 days a week.